Hello and welcome to a Friday Business News Report. It's now time to bring you our feature on the show today as we continue to assess the state of the Nigerian economy. Now, the cost of food items in the country has been recording some significant increases in the past 1 year, and month after month, there seems to be no downward price change. Now, from tomatoes, pepper, onions to garri, beans and other food items, Nigerians are paying much more for food. The National Bureau of Statistics in a few days is expected to release details of the month of July food inflation and also select food prices. But the figures in the reversal in food inflation pressures in the last 3 months does not necessarily correlate with market sentiment and price peg of staple foods. Now, farmers attribute the hike in food prices to insecurity, which has largely affected the planting seasons, harvest volume, hence low supply, climate change and lack of access to input, among others, but they made particular emphasis on the widespread level of insecurity nationwide. And joining me now live in our Lagos studio to discuss this and much more, I have agribusiness expert and farmer Chris Ugo. Good to have you on the breakfast show this morning.
Good morning.
Just a few days ago, we had the list prepared by with countries with the least affordability food index. Now, this clearly shows that we are dealing with a food crisis, irrespective of the efforts by government. You look at the Anchor Borrowers Program and other initiatives and all of those, still the price of food has not gone down. We've seen reports from the National Bureau of Statistics saying that there's a reversal in inflation figures. But even if there is, we are dealing with double-digit figures. So it's quite difficult for the man on the street to be able to feel that impact or any ease whatsoever.
Yeah, that is true. The reason for that is because many of the farmers are not in the farm because of insecurity we have in the farm today. And also the Anchor's Borrower Program is not affected in any way by the real farmers.
But that's just one of the initiatives though. There are many more.
There are many more, but the major reason is insecurity. When people are not going to farm, you have food shortage. And this will continue if nothing is done about this. Because the last time I came to this studio, I did mention that many farmers are going back home. Coming back home means they are not going to farm anymore. The production will reduce and we'll have food shortage. Right now, we have money to even buy something. If nothing is done, there will be a time, even with your money, you won't be able to buy anything because there won't be any food for anybody. So the government needs to sit up and start doing something about this insecurity so that people will go back to farm and increase the production of food in society.
And understanding the fact that we already have our food hubs threatened as we speak right now, there's the need to also look inwards and state by state having conversations around areas that are relatively safe for now. So for state governors, what sort of conversation do you also expect? Looking at Lagos State as a model, now I also had the Commissioner for Agriculture speak here, and it was quite a vast interaction looking at areas of investment, how to also have much more farmers come into bear. And then looking at what are the food alternatives that we could start planting. Lagos is a coastal state, but we could also have other products. So we are looking at increased tomato production, increased rice production, beyond fisheries, and then piggery and a whole lot more. How do you think states now have to drive this agenda? Because I keep on saying it. If the governors are not looking properly at this situation, how do players like yourself now force the hand of government and bring forth a round table which clearly states that this is how we are supposed to create a roadmap?
Yeah, Lagos State is doing very good thing right now, but we need an enabling environment. We need a land that is vast. We need so many players to come on board, both private sector, not government this time. Government had nothing to do with business, especially when it comes to agribusiness. Let's concentrate more on the private sector.
Yes, that's why they're doing public-private partnerships.
Good. That will help, but Lagos doesn't have that land mass. Where are they going to get the land to plant all those foods? Lagos is so small compared to even some of the farmlands we have only in Kaduna.
The commissioner's agenda is that if the state can feed itself, then other states, if every state can feed its populace, then we'll get to a point whereby we can now gradually start saying, okay, we transport this item here and move there where there are deficits. But there needs to be an aggressive, intentional effort to start growing in state capacity.
Yes. Lagos can start something, because if you notice, there was a time there was a scarcity of tomatoes. Lagos doesn't
and onions.
And onions. But very soon, all those things will start coming down. Because in Kaduna, where I have my farm, the cost of tomato is dropping gradually now. Unlike 2 months ago, a basket of tomato is selling for 20,000 naira. But as of today, it's selling for 15. A bag of onions that was selling for 45,000 naira, as at today, a new onions is selling for 20,000 naira. So it will gradually drop. What Lagos State needs to start doing is to find out who are the major players. Don't give them money. Give them what they need to plant. I always said money is not the first thing to start when you talk about agribusiness. If you want to be a farmer, you want to plant corn, you don't need money. All you need is a land. You need a tractor.
Inputs.
You need, that's what you need. But if all those things are being taken place, then money will follow. But when you start with money, you get everything wrong. To get real people that have passion for farming, you can't start with money. You must start with what they need. They need pesticide, they need fertilizer, and all that. Those things are the things that you need to bring first to the table before giving them money, because money is not the major issue when you talk about agribusiness or farming.
Thank you very much for your time on the Breakfast Show this morning, Chris Ugo. And like you rightly mentioned, we cannot just throw money at the problem. We need policies and a sound business environment that would support agriculture. We have to be intentional.
Definitely.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.